and welcome to this week's edition of Spotlight Morris County, the program that brings you news and information from the Morris County area. Students at CCM, members of the community, people doing good things. I'm your host, Daniil Barkov, and today I'm very pleased to have as our guest Miss Andrea Lucia Alfonso. Andrea Lucia is a sophomore here at CCM and is the president of the Student Activities Programming Board, and thank you for joining us today.
Hi, thank you for having me.
You are the president of the Student Activities Programming Board, yes?
Yes.
Can you please explain what your position entails in that program?
So the Student Activities Programming Board, we're in charge of planning and leading some of the main events here on campus. And through these events, we try to create an open and friendly community for the student body so that they have an opportunity to interact with fellow peers, with faculty. And we really want to get the idea across that CCM is not just a place to take classes. It's an opportunity for students to take all the advantages that come out of a two-year university and truly make the most of the time here.
Now, how long have you been the president?
So I've actually only been the president for this semester because I was the vice president last semester.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you please explain some of the activities that you might have done in the past, just so we have an idea of what you guys do?
So we tend to do a lot of events that focus on having fun on campus and making it a stress reliever for the students. So we've had open mics where students have the opportunity to show their talent to the student body. We've had a Think Fast game this past week, and that was a game show, and the students had the opportunity to win $200.
Oh, wow.
We've also had a magician show, and his name is John Cassidy, and he's a renowned balloon artist and a magician. And then the final event that we're going to be having this semester is the spring picnic. It's April 24th from 11 to 2 right outside the Student Center. And the theme is the World Cup. It's focused on the World Cup 2018 and embracing unity and diversity.
Can you please explain to us how students can get involved?
So we have meetings every Thursday from 1 o'clock till about 1:45, unless they run a little late if we have more to talk about. They're in the Upper Student Center, so anyone can come to our meetings at any time, find out what we're doing, and even potentially join the club. And they can also reach out to us through email. The email is sapb@student.ccm.edu. We also have Instagram, we have Twitter, and we have Snapchat.
Oh, wow. Okay. Do you know how many students are in the club as of now, or like just a rough estimate?
I would say the students that keep coming back, the total number would be about 10. Which is a good amount, and it's mostly made up of the exec board, but we do have some very committed general members too.
I also understand you're the vice president of the Honor Society?
Yes, so I'm the vice president of service for the Honor Society. The Honor Society is Phi Theta Kappa, and our chapter is Alpha Kappa Kappa. Phi Theta Kappa is the national honor society for two-year universities, and basically each college or university that has Phi Theta Kappa, it's made up of its own chapter, and our chapter is Alpha Kappa Kappa, so we are part of the Middle States region, and the Middle States region is New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Maryland, and Washington, D.C. So as Vice President of Service, I'm in charge of leading the community service that we do, and that's one of the 4 hallmarks that are focused on by Phi Theta Kappa, and the other 3 are fellowship, service, scholarship, and leadership.
How long have you been the vice president?
I've been for these past 2 semesters. So I was actually inducted to the Honor Society last May, and then I was given the opportunity to be in the position.
Now, when you say you do community service, do you do it around the community or around the campus? How does it work?
So through Phi Theta Kappa, we tried to focus both on the campus community, just for the students themselves, but also outreaching to the community around us, so Randolph or Morris County. So we've done events where we've done hurricane relief. So we've had tabling events, and we've actually raised $300 for the past hurricanes, and getting money to send to the people that were affected by it. And right now we're also starting to volunteer at the Habitat for Humanity Restore, which is in Randolph, New Jersey. And basically through the Habitat for Humanity Restore, everything that is sold there and all the profit that's made there is sent to support the funding of all the houses that are built in the Morris County. So.
Okay. And how can students go about joining this as well?
So around the same thing, we also have an email, and we also have meetings every Tuesday and Thursday, actually, from 1 till 1:45. And basically at those meetings, we talk about our future events, and we talk about any scholarship opportunities, any community service opportunities that the members have to be able to participate in. And you don't have to be inducted in the Honor Society in order to be become a part of Phi Theta Kappa, because you can be a prospective member. And through that, you can start racking up points. And through the point system is basically, after a certain amount of points, you can receive a recognition and a letter of recommendation from either our advisor or the president of the school, Dr. Iacono. So.
That was my question, because I'm not an honor student, so I was a little concerned. Okay, what are some of the benefits of students joining these like clubs and just getting involved in the school?
Definitely. So there's this stigma around community college that's very well known, that we're just a 13th grade, that we're not a real university. So by getting involved in these clubs and organizations, you have a chance to understand that there's so many opportunities here at CCM, especially because we have so much support from the faculty and from the school itself. So students have an opportunity to make friendships that they might not have been able to just with their interaction in the classroom. You also have a chance to get in touch with the community and make an impact and truly make the most of your time here.
Now, you did tell me before that you do the introductions for the incoming freshmen, or you did it this past semester. Can you tell us more about that, like what you had to do, like what role you played in that?
So this past summer, I was part of a panel of students who were asked to represent the student body that had been there the year before. And basically, we gave a tour to all the freshmen incoming students and around the campus, and we also answered their questions on what the lifestyle at CCM was all about. And I feel like it's a really great tool that the school has, just because sometimes it could be a little worrisome to go to a new school and to not really know like how to get your way around. So having these fellow peers telling you what you need to do in order to be successful here, it was really valuable.
Yeah, I know when I first came here from a different school, the biggest challenge for me was that, like you said, I feel like a lot of students think that getting involved in this stuff is a little bit difficult, but with these programs, I can see how it's definitely a benefit.
Definitely.
Now we're going to take a short break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Not all County College of Morris students look like me.
Some look like me.
Or me.
Or me.
Or me.
We all come to CCM at different stages of life.
And for different reasons.
I plan to transfer to a university.
I'm training for a new career as a nurse.
But we all know one thing.
CCM is where we want to be.
So check out the website.
Check out the website.
Check out the website.
And let CCM connect learning and your life.
Welcome back to Spotlight Morris County with Andrea Lucia Alfonso. So I understand you're from Colombia. Can you tell us more about your background?
Yeah, sure. So I was born in Bogota, Colombia, and I came here when I was 2 years old, or about 2. And since then, I've been living in Parsippany, New Jersey.
Okay. So what made you want to come to CCM?
So both my brother and sister actually came here, and they started their first 2 years here. My brother was engineering science major, and then my sister was a chemistry major. So after my brother and sister both went through CCM, my parents realized what opportunities and what great advantages that CCM brought. And because we all graduated in the top 15% of our class in high school,
Oh, wow.
we all were qualified for the NJ STARS program, which is basically if you are at that rank for high school, you get to come to your two-year university in state in your county for free for 2 years,
Oh, wow.
or 5 semesters in total. And it's all tuition free, so definitely that was one of the motivations too, because ever since coming from Colombia, we haven't definitely been able to make us complete savings for education that we would have hoped to. So the finances concerning our education were all individually put on ourselves. So I'm financing my own education, so I saw that this best fit. And seeing as though I'm going to be leaving this semester with 2 associates and no no financial burden for the first 2 semesters, I really think it was a great opportunity and a great decision that I made.
That is actually like very good because I'm a very serious procrastinator, so I don't think I would be in the top 15% of my class. Now I understand you are a double major. Can you tell us more about your majors?
So I'm a double major in engineering science and biology, the health-related track, and I'm hoping to, after getting the 2 associates in the spring, I'll be transferring to a 4-year institution, and I'm still waiting to hear back on the schools, but I'll be majoring in biomedical engineering.
Now, which one of the majors do you enjoy more?
I mean, I feel like they both tie in together just because they'll come into one at my 4-year institution. I've always been in love with math, especially because my father's a civil engineer too, so that was really focused in my life and like the STEM majors in general. And being as though I'm a girl, I never felt like I was moved away from the STEM majors. He definitely always emphasized that if I wanted to pursue something and I had the passion for it, I could do whatever I wanted. So engineering, I guess, would be something that I found later in life, but I found that it's what I really like the most. But I wanted to find a career that mixed both science and math and more the human body related. So biology is going to give me that opportunity to go into biomedical engineering, which is a fairly new field of engineering. It's only been popular for maybe like the past 15 years, but it's quickly growing just because of its necessity in society today. So I've found that the fusion of both has been a great motivator for my success.
It must have been a little overwhelming with all the workload from both those majors. I understand they're both very difficult.
So definitely, most people don't end up leaving CCM with 2 majors in the time of 1. So I definitely had a great support system from my advisors, especially the chair of the engineering department, Mr. Fuentes. So he helped me map out my 2 years. And although I did have to take winter classes and summer classes, I'm going to be able to fulfill both, which I'm really happy about because I want to move on to the next institution and get my bachelor's. And then after that, either go and pursue the field of research and either get a master's or a doctorate in tissue engineering, or follow the path of more healthcare and go to medical school.
Now, are you certain that you want to go into a medical field, or do you want to maybe I don't know, are there any other fields that would be an option to people with your major?
So biomedical engineering, it has 4 or 3 main tracks. There's the health related, which is pre-med. Then there's biomaterials, which is more like prosthetics. Then there's that's bioelectronics, and then biomaterials is the tissue engineering. And then there's also industry, which is the manufacturing of the products that are made. So there's definitely different outlets to the field, and if there is a time that I choose to go into a different one, it'll be an easy transition. It won't be something that I have to go back to school completely new and change my major and go from the start, you know.
How many more years of schooling will you require to be able to go into this job field?
So after my bachelor's will be 2 years, and then if I choose to get a master's, it'll be another 1.5 years, 2 years. But if I choose to go to medical school, it could be around another 8 years.
Oh, wow. Oh, man. Okay. I believe in you, though. You have a very hard workload, and I'm very impressed.
Thank you.
Now, I know that has CCM been, has it benefited you? Do you think it's prepared you enough for getting into these fields and basically moving forward with your life?
I can speak for the 2 departments that I'm working with, the bio department and the engineering, that all the professors and faculty make sure that you're prepared for the field that you're going into. Most of the engineering professors, they've actually been in the field and they've had experience as engineers, whether they be civil, mechanical, electrical, so they know what it takes to get there. So they help you with knowing what steps you need to take and what you need to do well in order to get to the next level. And they also open you up to opportunities of networking with different companies that are in the area, with even just advice and like making sure that you have the support that you need. And I know that for me that's really important because it's really hard what I'm going into, and being a girl and a Hispanic woman in the field, it can be a little intimidating, but I know that with the passion that I have and like the experience that I'm going to be getting from it and from CCM itself, I'll be able to prosper in the future.
I do agree with you, though. I found recently changing my major that the faculty is very helpful, and it seems like they do very much care about your well-being. They will take their time out of their day, like for as long as it would take to help you out in basically anything that you need. Now, have you enjoyed your time at CCM? Has it been a fun, like, has the community been very, very nice? Have you made a lot of friends here? Just how has your overall experience been?
Definitely. So I've made a lot of friends, and I know these friendships are going to be lasting just because I made them in my fields and in the area of my interest. So they have the friends that I've made have the same passions, the same pursuits. So we've come to make great study groups in the classroom and also be friends outside of the classroom too. And as far as like the classroom goes, the faculty to student ratio is amazing here. I know that a lot of schools, the students are just known by a number or by a serial code, and that's not really what I wanted from an institution. I want to be able to interact with my faculty, know that they know me by name and know me personally so that they know where I'm coming from and that what kind of help I needed in order to be successful. But overall, my experiences with the organizations on campus and the faculty and even the upper level of advisory on campus has been great, and I do not regret my decision of coming to CCM whatsoever.
Now, this is your final semester, yes?
Yes.
Yes. Now, I also understand that you are doing some research out in your field. Can you go a little bit more in depth on it? Because I know I'm not going to understand any of this, but could you explain what you're specifically doing?
So for the past 3 years, I've been doing research at NJIT, the New Jersey Institute of Technology in Newark, New Jersey. And the opportunity was first brought upon to me by the National Institute of Health and the National Institute of Diabetes and Digestive and Kidney Diseases through an internship called Step Up. It's short-term research experience for underrepresented persons. And it was a high school internship. So basically, I was given the choice to find an institution in my area, do 8 to 10 weeks of research at that institution. And after that, those 8 to 10 weeks, I was to go to Bethesda, Maryland, where the National Institute of Health is, to give a presentation of my research at a symposium. So I did that for my junior and senior years, the summers throughout those years. And then last year, hoping to continue my research and develop the data, I went and did the research on my own time in the same lab.
Oh, wow.
And fortunately, this year I have been accepted into the undergraduate program. So I'll be going through that same National Institute of Health internship, just the undergraduate version of it. I'll be doing the research, the 8 to 10 weeks, and then I'll be going to Bethesda, Maryland again. So what the research entails, though, it's diabetes research in the biomedical engineering field. So I've been decellularizing pancreatic tissue for artificial tissue engineering.
Oh, wow.
So it's basically creating the scaffold or like the foundation for creating an artificial organ. And in this case, since it's diabetes research, creating the pancreas. And the biggest thing with diabetes is that it's the autoimmune disorder that does not allow the pancreas to function properly and to not create the insulin that's needed. So tissue engineering has become a really important aspect in the healthcare field just because the shortage of donors and the lack of acceptance usually from the organs that are put into a patient's body just because the organs are brought in as a foreign object. So sometimes even if you have the donor organ, it's not always accepted. Through tissue engineering, the process is that you take a portion of the original patient's organ and you put that into the artificially created one so that it'll have an aspect of the old one in it so that when we successfully get it to create the insulin that's needed by the beta cells in the pancreas, when it's transferred and transplanted into the patient, it will be accepted so that in a sense, we can cure diabetes. Because currently diabetes, there's only treatments, there's insulin treatments, and then transplants. But if we could have a successful transplant that's artificially created, we could overall just end the epidemic.
I actually, the fact that you're saying this, I actually just remember that one of my very good friends in high school actually had a severe case of this, and I remember when they took out a portion of his mother's pancreas, I believe, to put it into him, or I'm not really sure what the exact situation was, but he had a very severe reaction to it, and I understand he had to be like hospitalized for a little while. So I understand how this could definitely be like a very big life-saving situation.
And the thing with diabetes is that like everyone knows about it.
Yes.
We have someone, or even ourselves are affected by it. So it's something that's truly causing a lot of worry in our society in general. And me personally, my grandfather, before dying from liver cancer, he suffered from diabetes. So that's what really brought out the passion to find the reasons why this caused so much pain in him, and maybe even if it was the leading cause to his cancer. So that's what I've been doing through my research.
Now, do you want to pursue this research when you get out into your career?
Definitely. So if I choose to go through the research side of the field, I want to get a master's and a doctorate in tissue engineering. It wouldn't specifically just be for the pancreas. It could be cardiac tissue. It could be many other things. It could be liver. But the area in general, I just really think it's important. And the fact that we might be able to proliferate something that could be a cure to so many diseases is something that I've found a lot of interest in.
So it appears to me that you are basically the pinnacle of CCM students. Can you give some more not motivation, but some more advice to students? Because me myself, I have a big problem with procrastinating and stuff like that, and I know a lot of kids at CCM have as well. And can you just give us how we could get involved and how we could just better our education?
So I think definitely the unique thing about CCM students is that they come from all different walks of life. So we all have part-time jobs, full-time jobs even while still studying. We might even have a family because we come from different stages of life. So time management is a really big thing, and it is hard because you have so many things to manage and to take care of, but I always have a planner with me, and there's so many, my planner has so many colors and so many coordinated things, but that's really brought me like a focus on what needs to get done and what needs to get done first so everything gets done well. And another thing is that don't be afraid to ask for help. I know sometimes it's like an ego thing, like, oh, I don't want to ask people for help because then I'm going to look like I'm not prepared, like I'm not ready for what I'm going into. But everyone needs to ask for help. Everyone needs help at one point in their life, and there's no shame in that. And that's just showing that you're putting importance in this and you want it to be the best that it can be. So whether it be friend support, whether it be faculty, whether it even be your family, anyone. Yeah.
Okay. Now, just with your research as well, have there been a lot of challenges for you? You seem very busy with that. You're doing a lot of classes, double majoring. Has that been a challenge for you? I know, like you said, a lot of CCM students do come from different walks of life. They work at some people work, some people have families. Has it been difficult for you doing everything?
Well, the research specifically, I make sure that it doesn't come last, but I put everything else first just because that's just an extra to getting myself the experience of my field. But I have an amazing support system from my family that not everyone is blessed to have. Even it comes to the fact that my mom makes me my lunch for the entire day for school every single morning. She wakes up at like 6 in the morning just to make sure that I have food. And I know a lot of people have to come and buy food here or even make it themselves. And I know that if I had to do that, I wouldn't have time for everything. And my parents have realized that education is such a big importance and such an important factor for my future success that they've taken time out of their own lives and their own careers just to make sure that everything happens for me.
Now, with your siblings as well, you said they are also in, I believe one of them was in engineering, you said?
Yes.
What about, so are they pursuing the same kind of fields that you are, or are they going into different ones?
So my brother got influenced by my dad definitely because my father's a civil engineer. So that's more in the line of construction of buildings, building bridges and roads. But so my brother, after getting his engineering science associate here, he went to Rutgers, New Brunswick for a bachelor's in civil engineering, and then after that he also completed his master's in structural at Rutgers. And after that he took his professional engineering test and is now a professional engineer. And he's working at a leading company at HNTB. It's a leading company for bridges in the nation, and it's in Parsippany, New Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you said you had 3 siblings or 2?
2.
Okay.
So then my sister she was more in the health-related track, and I feel like I got influenced by both of them to combine, I guess, both of their majors and make it into one. So she finished here with an associate's in chemistry, and then she went to Rutgers, New Brunswick, too, to get a bachelor's in biology. And now she's going back to get her master's. And currently she's also working at St. Barnabas as a clinical assistant manager. So she's definitely got an experience in the field, and now she's focused on what she wants to continue her education in so that she can use that to get a career out of it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank Andrea Lucia Alfonso for joining us today. This concludes another edition of Spotlight Morris County, and we'll see you next time.